Alright, what's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today I'm showing my upper body workout, my light upper body workout, and as you can see here, I'm just doing some face pulls to warm up my back. I like to do 100 to 200 reps before I start my workout. I vary the handle, I vary where I pull to. Then I moved into some pull-ups, and these are what's known as arcing pull-ups, where you try and pull yourself but away from the bar. As you can see here, I'm not trying to pull myself towards the bar. I don't really know if I like this variation. Feels weird. Feels good in the lats, but it feels really stressful on the forearms. I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to the motion yet. You could give it a try if you want. It's great for the lats, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to it. I'll give it a shot, but I like standard pull-ups better. So I like to do a lot of back work before I start doing my pressing. I find if you're doing too much pressing and not enough back work, you're just going to end up with some postural and shoulder problems. So here's my main pressing movement of the day. Remember I said it's a light day, so I'm trying to make a lighter weight harder by doing a double pause, and I added bands, which it's really hard to do the double pause in the middle. Not so much the pause at the bottom, but the pause in the middle is really hard because the bands are trying to pull you down and you have to resist it. It's a really difficult exercise. It's difficult in its own right with straight weight, but to do this with bands just adds a whole different element to the exercise. Give this a shot. I did 5 sets of 3, so I showed you the first, third, and fifth sets. This was really difficult exercise. And after that, I moved into some decline bench. I'm experimenting with the decline bench. I feel a really good overall pec contraction as I'm doing this movement. I thought maybe I would just feel more lower chest and not so much my upper chest. However, I feel it everywhere in my chest, and I feel less shoulder stress than flat bench. So I'm really going to experiment with this to see how my chest development goes as far as the decline bench will take me. So I think I did 4 sets of max reps. I wanted to stay around the 8 to 12 range. The first set was unfilmed because I'm not used to filming my whole workouts, and I like not to rest a lot in my assistance work. So I think I did 15, 12 or 11, and then 8, 8. And I rested about 45 seconds between sets, or a minute, 45 to a minute. And as you can see, you could just see my whole pec contracting there. It's a really great exercise. I'm going to keep this into the rotation for a while. And then I moved into some more back work. I did some seated rows with the close handle. It's my favorite handle to do seated rows with. Now, when you do seated rows, see how my chest is spreading? That's key with the exercise. You don't want a forward rotation of your shoulder. You don't want to shrug up with your traps. You want a nice stretch and a nice contraction of the back on each rep. The leaning back is not cheating. That is me arching my back to engage my lats, which is a technique I picked up from John Meadows. You can keep your back rigid and you get a different feeling in your back. At the end of the day, a row is a row. If you're feeling your back work, it's working. You change up the variations, you change up the tempo, you can hold at the end. A row is a row. As long as your back is getting stronger and more pumped, you are accomplishing something. Don't think leaning back is cheating. Don't listen to what the idiots on the internet tell you. Now, this is a great exercise, ironically also from John Meadows. It is called a Meadows Row, and it's a great movement. You're able to pull like out and in, which really hits your rhomboids, hits your lower traps, and still hits your lats. It's a really great exercise. It's totally different than a dumbbell row. And you should not program it the same. You should treat them as 2 different exercises. I believe I did 4 sets of 10 here, and I forgot to mention I did 5 sets of 10 to 12 reps on the seated rows. Now here I moved into some dips. I'm doing weighted dips twice a week, and here I'm doing 2 sets of 10 just because they are at the end of my workout, just for some additional volume. When I do them in my other workout, I do them more so in the beginning of my workout, so I'm able to push better numbers because I'm not as fatigued, obviously. The decline bench did take a lot out of my chest here. So I did 2 sets of 10 with a 45-pound plate. I want to be able to do 45-pound plate strapped to my body for 20 reps. That is currently the goal. And then I will move dips to another movement. And then after the dips, I just did some pump work. What I like to do with my assistance work is to do a lighter weight just to warm myself up, but with a lot of reps, and then move into a heavier weight and try to get anywhere from 40 to 75 total reps. Obviously, the warm-up only counts for half, So if I do 25 reps, I'll count that as 12 reps just because it is a lighter weight. And then I move into my light stuff. Now, don't overthink how you're holding the bar and your assistance lift. This is just some additional volume. So I'm speeding this up because there's no reason you have to see the light set. I like incline or seated extensions, like doing the behind my head. I find I get a more complete tricep pump. So here's the set. I believe this is a 70-pound easy curl bar. When you come up at the top, I'll make a separate video on this, but a lot of people make a mistake with extensions. They keep their elbows tucked the entire time, including as you're contracting, and then they complain about elbow problems. But that's not how your elbow is meant to work. It's supposed to flare out at the top. So I do like a rest pause style until I hit the desired amount of reps. I think I got 40 total at the end here. It's not a big deal. All I know is I keep track of the weight I use. I roughly remember what reps I did, and then there's just some weird guy taking some shit out of my pocket there, and then move on to the next week. Really, you should be focusing on improving your compound lifts and use your single joint movements to fill in the gaps of your training or add some additional volume with reduced stress. Then I just finish off with some hammer curls, same concept. I think I did 30 total reps here. I rest them on my legs to affect the strength curve, and it allows for zero cheating. But yeah, I'll just talk through the rest of this. This is just a short upper body workout with me. Any questions you can write in the comments, but this is a typical upper body workout for me. And I kept it at a brisk pace, good pump. Looking forward to developing that double pause bench more and getting stronger overall. So if you have any questions, if you like this video, please click that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share the videos with your friends if you think they'll like them as well. And as always, class is dismissed.